Hey guys, what's up? Will here, and I want to bring to you another First Amendment audit after action review. In this clip, let me preface this by saying there was a gentleman standing in front of, he was standing downstairs in front of the courtroom area, and I had walked by him maybe 3, 4, half a dozen times. I don't know how many times. And, he asked me things, kind of little questions if he could help, several times. And so, after asking several times, I finally allowed him to try and help me. Well, I was heading upstairs. There's a stairwell, and I was heading upstairs to go to the graphics designer and mayor's office, the mayor's office and administration's upstairs, and also the graphics designers. I wanted to talk with them. I do graphics and video and stuff, so it's kind of a kindred soul. So here's me attempting to head upstairs.
Sir, you can't go upstairs.
Why can't I go upstairs? I was going to go to the graphic designer. See, I thought he was saying I couldn't head upstairs. And I kind of, why can't I go upstairs? And he said, no, you just can't go up that way. It's just a stairwell that they had locked for some reason. Oh, yeah, you can answer a question for me.
I can do it.
So I finally clicked that, I just can't go up that way. And he asked again. He said, is there anything I can help you with? Can I help you? Or something along those lines. So, hey, guess what? You're offering to help, so I'm going to take you up on it. Sure. You might not want to, though. It's a bit controversial. So this is just a thing that my friends and we always debate. Look at this guy's face. Now, I don't know what his problem is. I don't know who this guy is. He hadn't been he hadn't been down there before, and he's just standing there, but he is, hold on, I'm going to back it up just so you can see his face. He is just giving me this, really weird look. And, no disrespect, but, I don't know what you're doing here, guy. I mean, with your facial expressions and what you're thinking. And we always debate about online, and I like to get law enforcement's opinion. Which do you think is more dangerous in general? Driving 5 miles under the speed limit or driving 5 miles over the speed limit?
Depends on where you're driving at.
So it's a general question.
Okay.
Now, let me just say, I expected an answer like this. That's generally the type of answer that I get, is they don't answer the question. Which is safer, 5 under or 5 over? It doesn't matter where you're driving in the world. I can tell you every single place in the world, every single speed limit, it is safer to drive 5 miles an hour under the speed limit, period. The fact that police officers, law enforcement, safety officers do not acknowledge this is such a disrespect for their position in regards to public safety. So, it's commonplace. They want to say, oh, well, it matters where, and it matters how fast, and it matters this, and matters that.
Depends on where you're driving.
Because some people try to say driving under, to me, there's absolutely no way that driving slower, driving 5 miles an hour under the speed limit is less dangerous. The faster you go, the less stopping speed, the more fatalities increase, everything. But it kind of blows my mind, the law enforcement agents who tell me, everybody, my friends and everything is like, oh no, it's the people who drive 5 miles an hour under the speed limit that's unsafe. No, people say they're unsafe because the speeders, it's the speeders who are unsafe. But it's just really weird.
Can I ask you a question?
Okay, so, obviously, and he's going to ask me a question here. We know what he's going to ask. But let me just finish talking about this, because to me, it's almost dereliction of duty. If you, as a law enforcement officer, do not say that, no, sir, it is safer if you follow the law and go 5 miles an hour under than it is if you break the law and go 5 miles an hour over. I mean, how is this even a discussion? If I put together a question that just says, is it safer to follow the law or break the law? And you can't answer? So in some situations, depending on where you're driving, it's safer to break the law and drive above the posted speed limit? Are you serious? Is that really the stance you want to take as a safety officer? I'm sorry, I'm stammering a little bit here. I used to have a stutter and a speech impediment as a kid. I couldn't say horse and went to speech all the way up until 6th grade, I believe. It's an issue, and so when I get kind of worked up, I stammer on my words a little bit. But I really have to slow down and talk deliberately for it not to happen once I get kind of fired up, because I just don't understand it. And, maybe there's some type of rationale. I understand the idea that, look, somebody driving 5 miles an hour under the speed limit may be presenting a dangerous scenario. Not because they themselves are the dangerous ones, it's because everybody else is speeding. Everybody else on the road is going 5 miles an hour over, so you need to go with the flow of traffic. Wow. I've heard that argument before. And it's just bizarre that in today's society, in today's day and age, that you're told you need to break the law because everybody else around you is breaking the law. So to be safe, so rather than telling them to slow down for safety reasons, you need to go faster and be more unsafe. With the amount of drunks, drugs, prescription and illegal drugs, and now recreational drugs that are on the street, with the amount of distracted drivers, anywhere from holding conversations with other drivers to talking on their cell phone to physically typing posts and doing Instagrams and selfies on Facebook, and with the amount of distracted drivers, impaired drivers on the road, you're going to tell me that it's safer to go over the speed limit? You can't sit here and say, no, sir, it is safer to drive slower in every single situation. I can't think of a situation or a place where it is safer to drive faster. There's not a single one that you can rationalize to me. And if you can, please post it down here in the links. If you can tell me where and when it's safer for you to drive faster, and I can provide you statistics and prove that you are absolutely wrong each and every time. You may think that you are being safer, but you are being much more dangerous. You're putting yourself in danger. You're putting your family in danger. You're putting everybody that is around you in more danger because you're driving faster. Now, there's a limit, right? That's why I posed the question, is 5 miles an hour under. Don't be a hindrance. Don't drive in the left-hand lane. Change lanes properly. Obey all traffic signals. I mean, everything, right? Safety. Drive safely. Drive defensively. But if you want to not acknowledge the fact that speeders, 5 miles an hour speeder is unsafe. If the city of Spartanburg has a problem with addressing the issue of speed being unsafe from their employees, from their safety officers, then I wonder, or I question, the integrity of their safety training, their integrity of their certification that they have to have. the training that they get in statistics, because it's like for every 5 miles an hour you go over the speed limit, fatalities, the chance of a fatality of a death in a car accident increases 15% for every 5 miles an hour over. Yeah. 5 miles an hour over is 15%. So, 5 miles an hour under is probably like 20% safer than the 5 miles an hour over. I mean, I'm saying going 5 miles an hour under is only giving you 5% more, which it may be 10%, maybe 15%, but I'm being conservative and saying 5% more. Saying it's a 20% safer for you to drive 5 miles an hour under than it is for you to drive 5 miles an hour over. And law enforcement safety officers do not address this. They do not have an opinion on this. They think it's just depending on where you drive. It's not a across the board thing. I don't understand that. So let's get back to his question. He wants to ask me a question.
Sure.
Who you represent? Who you represent? Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Who you represent?
I represent myself.
Okay, and what's your name? May I ask?
No. I don't have to give it. Appreciate it though. Thanks for your concern.
I'll be honest. I'm not one of these auditors that's going to, every time a police officer asks me a question, am I going to say, I decline to answer. I don't want to speak with you. I don't have to answer any of your questions. Such a typical response. I mean, it's inflammatory. It's disrespectful. I had a conversation with somebody downstairs in the enforcement division. That's where they set their rules and regulations, and we were talking about the same exact thing. 5 miles an hour under, 5 miles an hour over. We talked about several other things, and I didn't record that because we were having just a nice, cordial conversation. And at the end he asked me, what's your name? I said, it's William Wallace. And I didn't have a problem giving my name. I mean, what are they going to do? They're not going to do anything with it. They're not going to put me in some list somewhere. I mean, look, I'm here on Facebook under my name. I'm not scared, I'm here for the betterment of the people. I'm here for education. I'm here doing the right thing. And so if somebody wants to take unjust actions against me, ultimately I'm not going to be able to stop them. I hope they wouldn't. Please don't. Don't come after me or my family. I'm asking you. And I'll do the same. You really don't want me to be your enemy. I don't think I make a very good enemy. I wouldn't want to have myself as an enemy. I got a lot of technical skills and, a lot of understanding of systems and how to get information and such. Anyway, it's just stupid. So what I was getting to is if that officer had actually answered my question, which is safer, 5 under or 5 over, and if he had said something like, the whole, it depends where you're driving, is a complete non-answer. Complete non-answer. That's a non-answer. You're just trying to play political because you don't want to get on anybody's bad side. And I don't understand that. I don't understand not answering that question. It's not like I'm asking you something that can get you in trouble, right? You should get in trouble for not answering the question, for not saying it is safer to go 5 under than it is to break the law. Like, how can that be a question of you if you are a law enforcement agent? I don't understand that, but it's so common. About 80% of the law enforcement officers will not answer it. So when you don't answer that, when you give this complete non-answer, and then you want to start asking me questions on who am I with and what is my name, you didn't even have the courage or respect to hold a it's not that you didn't hold a conversation with me. It's that you didn't even want to answer a question that I had. And you want me to answer questions for you? No, sir. I don't have to answer any of your questions. But I appreciate your concern. Thank you for asking. It just shows that you're Um, Trivial. That's the word I'm looking for. Trivial. Like, you basically declined to answer. You said it depends on where you drive, and then after I kind of go into a slow driving versus fast driving, you didn't have anything to say. You didn't say, hey, you know what? You've got some good points. I definitely see your point about how driving faster can be more unsafe. You didn't say anything like that. Are you scared of your job? Has society gotten to the point where you fear sorry, you fear to express any sort of opinion because of reprisal? I think it's the exact opposite, right? I think when a law enforcement agent is asked a simple question on safety and concerns of their citizens and how to give citizens the best options for safety, right? Like if I ask a fireman, hey, what's safer to do with a fire? Should I put a fire in the fireplace or should I do it right on my wood floor? You would think the fireman would say, no, do it in the fireplace. It's a lot safer. Not like, oh, well, it depends because, depends where you make the fire. No, it doesn't. I mean, you could sit here and try to justify and try to give non-answers, but that's not what you're here for. You're here for public service. So you should make the decision and try to provide the best public service that you can at all times. It's very saddening if you feel that answering a question is going to put your job in jeopardy. I don't know if that's the situation, and I mean I can make assumptions here because it's very common. I don't have an opinion on that. We can't talk to the media. Just non-answers. Well, it depends where, depends how everyone's driving around you, this and that. I don't think it depends on anything. I think following the law is safer than not following the law, period, end quote, hashtag, post it on Twitter, send it to your mama, write it in a greeting card. There's nothing more to say it. Blah, 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 blah. That's all, folks. Like Porky the Pig, I mean, there's nothing else. Put a little curlicue on me and stick me in a cartoon thing, and that's the end. If you can't answer that, I don't know. That's one reason I chose to include this interaction on my highlights. It wasn't disrespectful. It's just a non-answer, and on some levels, that's disrespectful to the community. It's a disservice to the citizens, and I hope this raises that point, and that there's an understanding that better could be had. So, guys, William Brower, I hope this has been an informative after-action review of my First Amendment audit. I really enjoyed walking around and learning about the Spartanburg, South Carolina City Hall and Police Department. There were some little concerns that I had. This was one of them. This was one thing that I would ask for the mayor. Mayor, if you watch this video, if someone in public service is watching this, please send it to the mayor. I'd love his opinion on it. How can your officers not be Johnny on the spot and say, nope, following the law is safer? That's why we have the laws. That's why the posted speed limits are there. We suggest that every single person follows that and does not speed, because speed is unsafe. Speed is a mitigating factor in many collisions, many fatalities, many severe injuries. And it's our duty to inform the public. Just as it is our duty to inform the public that they should change the batteries in their smoke detector every so often. It's our duty to help remind them about the safety factors that surround them in their everyday life. And we should know that when we're in the vehicle, our personal choices when we are driving a vehicle are some of the most critical choices for our own safety. So guys, William Brower, I'm out. First Amendment audit. Thanks, guys. I love this stuff. I think you can tell that I'm really getting into this. I really love giving you my opinion, my evaluation. This has been an after action review. Spartanburg, South Carolina City Hall. And hope you stick around for the next episode. Bye.